Occult Bloodborne analysis live stream, insight stream, because I don't sleep, I only dream. Depending on who shows up, well, depending on where this goes. Yesterday it turned into a Rust Cohle PTSD stream with a lot of very interesting people and feed, which is fantastic. Depending on what happens today will turn. I just have to, because I'm not using streaming software, fix something on my YouTube, and then I can begin. I need to anyway, there's a lot of people that have been focusing on the lore elements of this game, so I decided to focus more on the esoteric elements, not just as influences but as actual manifestations of this game being a work of, in a prophetic sense. Okay, things fucked up with my streaming thing. I'm not using streaming software at the moment, so I can't schedule these annoyingly. So I have to copy and paste while I wait for people to kind of get here. So yeah, yesterday was interesting. It went from Occult Bloodborne stuff to the O&A, extremism, heroin, everything. To the Taliban, to Iraq, as I have a lot of very interesting people that follow my work, because of various subject matters that I cover. I'm almost done, I'm just having to fix this quickly for YouTube and share it on Twitter, where the majority of people seem to jump on from. I'm not sure how people do this, streaming from PlayStation to things, so yeah, just be patient for a minute. I'm almost done. And hopefully no one will abuse the text-to-speech function, because it works really well streaming with this. Okay. Now I have to delete the upcoming stream, because that didn't work, and hopefully now share the current one, yep, on Twitter, and then I am ready to go. If anyone's watching, is the thumbnail Yeah, in the future I'll actually get streaming software so I can schedule this stuff properly for the PS5, but right now, okay, share this on Twitter. Let's hope we have a lot of interesting people like yesterday show up. If not, I'll just go into the esoteric elements of things. So essentially what we're up to is we killed a little girl's father, Gascoigne, based on a kind of Jesuit priest. And did that work? Alright. Yep. So, finally got an arcane weapon, which is essentially a flamethrower, as I'm going to pure O&A insight build. Arcane. Things also dialogue.
Don't you worry about me.
I want to wait before I decide what we're going to do with the little girl, because I did promise certain people to make decisions on where we send them, even though we know there's only one place to send them. The medical establishment. You have to trust in it. We learnt that. Stay home. Stay safe, stay alive. And then we'll be going into a place that is essentially shit. A nice genocide has happened, which I'll explain the context of. It's similar to a situation. I mean, it's all based on real world situations anyway, but. Okay, so Zofka, who has been replaced by a lovely intelligence officer working for the higher stratums of the church. Intelligence. The choir. So they're kind of like the black nobility in a sense, almost of the Vatican. If you don't know who they are.
Oh, hello. You made it. Find any survivors? Tell I will to them.
As most of my audience has not played this game, but the parallels are amazing to what happened during the lockdown. So before we decide whether to make the little girl an opfer, because and I gotta thank a certain individual for doing something for me from yesterday. If they show up, I doubt they're gonna. My fan base likes to have fun with certain individuals that we all are frustrated with and want to help with their research. Definitely not to fuck with them.
Help me! Oh God!
Okay, little girl. I'm just waking up a little bit, so give me a moment.
Hello, Miss Hunter. Still can't find my mum. Oh, okay. I can wait, but isn't there something I can do?
Oh shit, we have to make the
the
decision now.
Waiting for me to come and find them. What do you think, Miss Hunter?
I can't withhold the information, so essentially yesterday people were pretty keen on where we send them, because I have a lot of people interested in a certain organization, occult organization, concept called Opfers in it, which essentially means sacrifice. So I'm trying to decide if they wanted to turn this little girl into an Opfer or not. Though I probably will anyway, but since they haven't shown up, I will. Damn, I should have ran here yesterday when everyone was still on. Let's see. I'm now doing this for utilitarian reasons. I've forgotten if it's her or her sister that I want to kill. Because I haven't played this in quite a few years. So there are runes in this game. A lot of them are based on the tarot. That comes soon, but where is she? Young girl and older sister. Transgression. We killed her father. I don't need the ribbons, the cosmetic. Okay, we're sending. I'm making her an offer because she has something I need. No problem. Hence my stupid. There's my no mercy for children. Oh, I guess I did that twice. So. All right, good.
Thank you, Miss. I love you almost as much as Mum and Dad, and Granddad. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, so for utilitarian purposes, it's not at all evil. I have to kill her, but that doesn't come until later in game.
Wretched outside.
Okay, it's time to go to the church. I'm thrust into a nightmare of which I have no way of navigating or knowing about. Of which I have to very quickly trying to see what's going on. So essentially under this city there are anybody knowledgeable on Hermeticism, Thelema, any occult system essentially from the Western esoteric tradition, specifically going back to Hermeticism will know about aeons. Aeonics is an aeon is an era usually induced shit magically. In the ONA, the Order of Nine Angles, in Thelema, aeonics is a huge deal. Aeonics are the cyclical change within different civilizations, sort of ages. In Thelema, Aleister Crowley, the system of magic, there are 3 aeons. There's the aeon of Isis, a matriarchal aeon, and lasted a few thousand years, that moved into the aeon of Osiris, the aeon of patriarchal, the aeon of the father. So first the aeon of the mother, the aeon of the father, and then the aeon of Osiris is very much where the Abrahamic religions came from, Christianity, the dying God that's resurrected, in particular, the symbolism, and then the aeon of the child, the aeon of Horus. Now, which is an aeon that's within Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law, of which he is a prophet of, if you subscribe to Thelemic religion, essentially. He in Cairo, Egypt, essentially was named a prophet through channeling via Iwas on behalf of essentially the aeon of the child, the age of Aquarius, as hippies would call it. In the Order of Nine Angles, which is another occult system that I am familiar with because of my professional and work and personal life. According to Naos, a practical guide to guide to modern magic, and don't worry, any true Niners, I'm referring to the old typewritten 1989 Thorold West and ONA publication for their small collectives back in the day. So Aeon, pre-Hyperborean. Hyperborean is like my main character. It's just ancient Greek for Northerner, essentially. A lot of Nazis, neo-Nazis like to use the word. Hey, Susan, it's nice to see you again. How are you going? We decided to make the child an opfer, so I sent her to the medical establishment that is 100% trustworthy for my reward.
It's going good, 100 points.
That's good to hear.
You're all right. Very good. She's safe with me now.
Yep, she's safe.
I presume you're
I sent a little girl to her
The treatment is going well.
to get
Stabilized, for the most part.
treated.
Fascinating, really.
You can trust it.
Here you are, as promised.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank goodness you came. Be a dear. Find me some more.
Okay, Fauci.
There may yet be humans out there. If you find them, send them to Yusefka's clinic. I endeavor to treat every survivor there is. So please, be a saint. There may yet... If I...
Okay. I was going on about Aeonics according to the Order of Nine Angles, but also Thelema. But yeah, in Aeonic magic, in the ONA or 9A, there's the pre-Hyperborean, Hyperborean being ancient Greek for Northerner. So like this character, 100% pure Aryan Hyperborean woman, which I assume you are, Susan. Because my audience are pure Aryan. Oh fuck. Alright, anyway. Which the symbol is the horned beast, which is a reference to most likely the Greek god Pan. Or Baphomet, which is essentially Edifice Levi reinventing Pan. A horned god back into Western consciousness, magical working, shamanism, 7,000 to 5,000 BC according to the ONA. Then the Hyperborean age, so the symbol is the sun, which is a swastika of course, and magical workings, oh shit, I forgot what this word means. Oh, no, henges, 5,000 to 3,500 BC. The next Aeon is the Sumerian, so Middle Eastern, pre-Babylonian. The dragon is the symbol. Trance and human sacrifices, magical working, 3,000 to 1,500 BC. Then the Hellenic, so ancient Greek period, sort of. Symbol is the eagle, the oracle and dance is magical working, 1000 BC to 5000 AD. Then the Western tradition, the symbol is the inverted pentagram. The ritual working is the magic working, 1000 AD to 2500 AD. So the ONA want to go into move Aeonics from the Western. Hold on a second, my copy of Naos is from 1989, and back in the day, in especially more extreme occult movements, underground ones, actual secret societies, not watered down Ordo Templi Orientis want to be occult societies. This shit, everything has to be drawn in by hand. So the next Aeon is the Galactic, which magical workings, the Star Game and beyond. The Star Game being a self... Oh, I'm not even going to try and describe David Mayat's Star Game. I probably should stop calling it David Mayat's Star Game, but it is David Mayat's Star Game. Now, so I have seen copies going back to the 1970s. Myatt is obsessed with space, so are the very old Niners. I'm talking about Niners in their 60s and 70s. There's an aeon beyond the galactic, which is the cosmic aeon. Every magical tradition coming out of Hermeticism in any form focuses on aeons, cycles. As above, so below. This game, Hidetaka Miyazaki, everything in his game designs from Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, everything is within cycles, life, death. You die, you pass the game, but then you're back at the very beginning of the game again, but with a slightly, I guess, a more enlightened character. Essentially, you keep your weapons and your stats, but at the very beginning of the game again in New Game Plus, and you can continue the cycle over and over and over. Every time you die, all the enemies come back, except for bosses, you know? So, it's a everything in his work is based on cycles, which everything in reality is based upon. Every system is a cycle. So, I'll quickly pick up my shit that I lost when I died, and we'll go to the church, but Hidetaka Miyazaki's philosophy, which comes from Lovecraftian stuff, which comes from Eastern and Western esoteric traditions. Cosmic Horror she created comes from something that is beyond its impact as a human being and creative person. Something that becomes ageless like that, like H.P. Lovecraft's influence and work. There's always something going on when that happens. It's not normal. I'm in a strange time zone where my audience are essentially mostly in the UK, America, and also Central and Eastern Europe. Mostly the UK and America. So getting a time zone right when I have nobody that I know of in Australia that even knows of my existence, it's quite difficult. People in the UK, a lot of them tend to be going to sleep now, but at the same time a lot of them are on coke. So they wake up. Okay, there we go. Okay. So we made an opt for the little girl for the... not for the medical establishment, but for an intelligence organization talking with cosmic... in communion with cosmic eldritch horror gods, essentially. Oh no! Okay, good, that's good though. Time to go to the church. And a place that has been recently balkanized circa 1990, 91. We're going to Old Yarnum. So I'll go to the dream. I've got to say, Naos does have a good point. Thelema doesn't go any further than we're in the Aeon of Horus, the Aeon of the Child. It doesn't really go beyond that, other than Freyta Achad talking about the Aeon of Mat. Mat is an Egyptian goddess of truth, justice, a very interesting one, which is supposed to precede the Aeon of Horus, and the Aeon of Horus is supposed to end early. That's if you subscribe to Aleister Crowley's Thelemic system. So, according to Naos, we've got another few hundred years in this dark age before we enter the galactic age, and then beyond that is the cosmic age.
Welcome home. What is it you...
She's praying at her own grave of the person she's designed from,
Very
if I
well.
remember correctly.
Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close.
Most of the storytelling
Now
in this
shut your
game is
eyes.
very experimental in that sense.
Farewell.
You only
me.
know that this is the grave of Maria, Maria being the woman the doll is based
Welcome.
on,
What
is
is-
from an item you find in the real
Over
location.
time, countless hunters have visited this stream. The graves here stand in their memory.
Yeah,
It
your own
all
grave.
seems so long ago now. Over time, countless it all. Farewell. Welcome home. What is it? Very well, let me. Farewell.
I'm gonna get enough fucking pebbles in this game. They drop everywhere. Okay.
Welcome. Very well.
I'm making a 99 arcane build. Pure arcane, because when I use this to come off a long tapering off of morphine, I would play this quote competitively with crazy characters. Okay, Cathedral Ward.
Ah, this here is a safe place, but next time you're out, if you find any sane survivors, because there's nothing to fear. I know what, if you happen upon someone while hunting, if they see...
He's actually quite a benevolent being.
I know what, if they see... Oh, and...
Okay, when you get enough insight, something interesting happens in this area. You start to see things for how they really are. I'm not gonna do it. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it. Here we are. You see? There are giant cosmic horror. So that is a amygdala. Literally, a amygdala. When you get enough insight, you can see them. So I think it's like 40 insight. And they are giant spiders, essentially, whose heads are based on the actual amygdala of the human brain, because this entire game is forcing you to utilize the reptilian complex, or the amygdala, which is what psychopaths purely operate from. Resource management, collecting blood vials, quicksilver bullets, things like that. It's forcing me to utilize the reptilian complex in my brain. It's not to turn you into a psychopath, but it's forcing you to utilize primal elements of your neuropsychology. Because it is useful in real life, and the creator of this game is essentially forcing you to learn real life skills through through neurochemistry. Like,
I know I shouldn't be asked. If you happen upon some, if they see... Oh.
Where's Eileen? Game design done with this much thought and brilliance is absolutely incredible. The fact that it is deliberately playing on you in a non-cynical way, in a sense of loot crates and shit and things like, well, the majority of modern games. This is socially engineered, instead of being a gambling machine of small releases of dopamine and microtransactions to then try and get the big spenders, the whales, addicted, and everyone else can go and get fucked. Like, the disgusting gaming industry is these days. This, with none of that shit, is forcing you to utilize parts of your brain that are usually not lit up too much these days. Unless you're in situations that most people can't get into anymore. I don't think people quite realize how brilliant the real world impact of this is on people. So people interested in actual social change, you don't do it overtly by going on and on about You don't... People who want to actually cause social change don't join a political movement. Make art, for fuck's sake. Music. Design shit that is engineered to change people's way of thinking. Language is a virus. However, you can use that. That is not necessarily a bad thing. Use that how you will. If you want to help people, or you want to create a gambling platform for children, choice is yours. No one gives a fuck. That's the point. The existential elements of these games created by FromSoftware and Hidetaka Miyazaki. No one gives a shit about you with regards to any political movement or government regime at all. It's all done cynically for their own purposes, and usually done not to benefit even their own movements, because people get power tripping. So the dickhead waving a Palestinian flag, he's not doing that because he gives a shit about Palestine. Why don't you go and why don't you go and sneak in through the tunnels that network out of fucking... Go to Israel and Palestine. Go through the tunnel network as the Mujahideen and fight if you give a shit that much. Don't stand by the flag doing nothing. All you're doing is serving your own purposes, which is this. You want to be pictured with a flag as a hero, even though in the context of Australia, and I'm not saying this to get political, this is an example. If you want to be a contrarian, talk about how much you love Netanyahu. That is transgressive in the context of Australian. Everybody on the political spectrum, left and right, even though there's grey areas about all hate Israel, even fucking Jews do here, which is kind of sad when they're apologising for their own existence at universities in international relations. It's absolutely disgusting to have to apologise, to feel that you have to apologise for the existence of a country you're not even fucking from. When it's a government that is doing this shit. But if you actually want to make change, you hide it within fiction. And because I have a lot of people who are very interested in social engineering, intelligence services, the sad truth is the intelligence services don't know what the fuck they're really doing anymore, because they have lost their integrity, in the sense of it's no longer the days of Jean Le Carre's Tinker soldiers by clandestine human intelligence operations. It's now political. A lot of it is about entrapment rather than actual counter-intelligence work. And to the extent where humans, or human intelligence, which is intelligence tradecraft based upon utilizing human, essentially psychology, magic, the reductionist form. It's like chaos magic. It strips away anything that is not inherently useful that are from mostly occult techniques and movements, but then stripping it down to its purest form where you can essentially exploit and read people with an exceptional accuracy from the most basic information. It's a skill that academics have started to write about because the intelligence services now do not have good human intelligence officers. They've put too much into the technologist elements of, especially in foreign intelligence. So the technologists being, you know, the boring tech end of things. Shit that I'm not good at. However, they realize they need old-fashioned Tinker-Tailor soldiers by human intelligence spooks again to asset manage, create networks, and the Western intelligence services are absolutely in disarray, particularly in English Western intelligence. So the CIA, MI6, ASIS, they do not have, they are desperate to get good human intelligence officers again. And that tells you something. Because it's not something you can be inherently... you can inherently learn. You can learn the tradecraft, but you need... It's something that's inherently in you. It's instinctual to a certain degree. And I'm extremely interested in humans because... Hey, Homo Sucks, how's it going? I'm just in a... talking about human intelligence. Tradecraft. Did you ever play Bloodborne Homework Sucks? Oh, what's happening with the SF? I haven't kept up to date. I've been looking at too much, talking to too many TTP guys in Pakistan.
Sure did.
Oh, you played this? There might be a delay.
Comics too.
Wait, there's comics for this? For Bloodborne?
Although they weren't quite as good.
Huh. Okay, so you know damn well the multiple different factions in this, all stemming from a fake church that it was
What's
created.
going on in Pakistan?
Oh, in Pakistan, yeah. I've got a lot of contacts with the Taliban in Afghanistan, right? And a lot of them are from I'm talking about guys who fought in the Soviet-Afghan war, but also Mujahideen that fought against coalition during the 20-year insurgency. So the Taliban are a government mostly made up of a certain tribal group called the... I'm writing an article on this at the moment. They're from a tribal group, the Pushtun tribe. However, the Pushtun tribe is not exclusive to Afghanistan. And so Pakistan, which used to be very pro-Taliban.
Are they fighting with ISIS-K now?
The Taliban and ISIS kill each other, yeah, but Al-Qaeda and ISIS kill each other. But the TTP, which is short essentially for the Taliban in Pakistan, to put it in plain English, they are literally fucking a tribal group, because the Pushtun tribe, which speaks Pashto, they go up, their tribal area goes up into Pakistan. Now what's happened is Pakistan have decided to do something that caused mass hysteria in the West in 2015-2016. Pakistan are building a wall to cut off Afghanistan. Now you think a wall between fucking the US and Mexico is a big deal? Imagine building a wall across the entire border of... And they are. And so what's happened is, for the first time, Pakistan are enforcing the border, and for the first time Pakistan are also enforcing in Pakistani Pushtun tribal fucking areas. They are enforcing Pakistani law rather than the tribal and Deobandi Hanafi school Islamic law that the tribe subscribes to a degree. So the Pakistani intelligence services, called the Pakistani ISI, or the Intra-Intelligence Services, they are in a strange situation where I have no idea what the fuck's going on with them, because they're either... Now I know guys who are ex-Pakistani ISI, and they're either... They used to be very supportive of the Taliban. Now the new government in Pakistan have become very anti-Taliban, even though Pakistan's the place you went to go and fight for the Taliban for 20 fucking years. You, as a foreign fighter, yeah, on the border, and either the inter-intelligence services in Pakistan are no longer, have been taken over by people that want to get rid of the Pushtun influence, or they are still pro-Taliban and they're fighting their own government. I don't know. I'm trying to find out. And I've got Mujahideen in Pakistan that warn about attacks. And I'll talk about terrorist attacks. I'm talking about mostly like hit and run, guys coming in from the mountains, fucking Taliban in Afghanistan style, doing a hit and run assault somewhere, killing, and then disappearing back into the mists of the mountains. Well, the TTP are doing the same shit on board with border forces in Pakistan, and then they're also, a day before last year, I had Mujahideen posting about how they were going to have an attack on Islamabad, capital of Pakistan. for an entire day, everyone fucking ignored them, and I was like, hey guys, maybe we should, you know, take them seriously. Oh no, they're a joke. A day later, they fucking did it. I have no idea what's going on. I might try and contact a guy who's a private intelligence contractor in the Middle East, whom was a foreign fighter in the Soviet-Afghan war. He, in '85, snuck into Afghanistan with the help of the Pakistani ISI and the CIA at that time, and Mossad too, funded and the UK MI6.
Attacked Islamabad.
Not the Taliban, no. The TTP, the Taliban in Pakistan. So, which are of course, not associated directly with the Taliban, you see. Essentially, yeah. They did last year. I mean, they do shit like this all the time, but everyone fucking ignores it. So I started... if on my Twitter, you'll see that I follow like 600 accounts, and you'll notice they're all in a very Arabic-looking script. Well, none of that is in Arabic. That's all fucking Pashto. Because I follow about 600 Mujahideen accounts in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And they're all from the tribal group that speaks Pashto, not Dari, which...
Is there still Northern Alliance in Afghanistan? Ahmad Shah Massoud's people. I get you.
Probably not. I mean, the thing is though, the Taliban keep certain groups alive, but they'll if you fought against them at any point, they will kill you. In the sense of they have to reconsolidate their Afghanistan's provinces. So Dari, which is another form of Persian, is the national language of Afghanistan, of the Afghan Emirate, right? The Taliban Emirate. However, the Taliban are all Pushtun tribal group, and they all speak Pashto, which is very similar to Dari, but it's specific to their tribal group. However, the Pushtun tribe they don't recognize the Pakistani border because they're a fucking tribe. And this is universal. Tribes don't recognize national borders. So they're building a wall in Pakistan, and the TTP are a sock puppet Taliban group made of mostly a mixture of Pakistani, Pushtun and Afghani. They're building the wall because so many Pushtun tribal members in Afghanistan are sneaking up into Pakistan
I respect
to fight.
the Taliban for outlawing Pakistani.
Oh yeah. No, the thing is, to reconsolidate Afghanistan as a country, you need a regime that can unite the country under a singular purpose, because it's the most complex fucking country in the world. I'm not kidding, and the only way to fucking do that is through either a communist regime, and they tried that shit in the 70s as a proxy through the Soviet Union, but Islam and the Taliban are different from... They're not Salafists, they're Deobandi. The Salafists are Hanabi school, Sunni Islamic fundamentalists, whereas Wahhabists, and the Taliban are Deobandi, Hanafi school, which is another school of Islamic jurisprudence. However, they, through the foreign fighter, Arab Afghan Mujahideen influences from Saudi Arabia, northern Yemen, the United Arab Emirates, etc. In the 80s, a lot of Salafism merged in.
Regional, right?
Yeah, it goes up. It goes up Afghanistan and a lot of Deobandi and philosophy in Pakistan and also in India. However, it's very Salafist.
Welcome home, good
I
hunter.
know. Now, Pakistan mostly speak a language called
What is it you desire?
Urdu. They don't speak Dari. Urdu is.
Over time, it all seems. Farewell.
Anyway, yeah, the TTP are very interesting, and annoyingly, a lot of accounts, of course, get deleted, but I keep close tabs because some spook shit is going on here, and I really am trying to work it out. But I have an ex-ISI guy who is now a private intelligence contractor in the Middle East who fought in the Soviet-Afghan war. He also was in the... Because if you're a foreign fighter from the Middle East and you go and you fight...
Isn't Urdu basically Hindu but with Arabic script?
No, sort of. Bit of Persian. Persian. To put it this way, I've lived in places where people whom have lived there their entire lives can't speak with the majority of the people in their cities. Now, I know some Arabic, right? And I can understand some Urdu. I can also understand quite a bit of Dari and Pashto. However, I cannot understand any Hindu at all. any form of the similarities are not really cross-transferable. So yeah, you go to places in southern India, and they'll be the Muslims speak Urdu, and they can't even communicate with their own cab drivers because they speak Hindu or they speak Tamil, and there's so many different dialects. Same in Pakistan. Pakistan has sort of unified itself. However, Pakistan is... But yeah...
Okay.
I'm writing an article about all this shit because... people... Oh yeah, I remember I have to go in again now. People have no idea what the fuck is going on in Afghanistan, and it's interesting. Now, I support the Taliban. Which is, and when I say that, I have had friends that have been shot by Taliban, literally. So I'm not saying that out of some stupid...
Do you really work for ISIS?
Of course not. I can understand.
People always accuse me of being FSB/SVR.
Well, I made a joke with that picture of me in the Middle East wearing traditional Arab garments of a very specific region. Yeah, I mean, they did. One of my friends was clipped by a sniper. And he got to meet the guy who shot him. And this guy had fought in the Soviet-Afghan war. He was He from a lack of sleep and lack of Captagon being caffeine and amphetamine pills. He was embarrassed that he missed because he was aiming for my friend's chest, but he got my friend in the thigh. Luckily, my poor friend thought he got his dick shot off because all of a sudden, hot burning sensation. You hear the crack. Yeah, and so you hear the crack, and everyone. If you've ever heard non-suppressed, high-caliber rifles fire off in a situation where you're not expecting it, it's fucking a sniper. It has a very horrible cracking sound that gives everybody a nice fucking physiological response where you hear the crack and your entire nervous system fucks up for a second, and everyone just sort of like I can't show you, but yeah, it's not fun getting shot at, but you know, your entire nervous system goes for a second, and everyone like lurches a little bit before the, and so when the guy was also clipped, the sniper that day, and my friend was evac'd. I'll write about this properly, so I won't go into too much detail. He was so fucked up on fentanyl lollipops, which they give when you've been, you know, severely fucking wounded. He spent a long time talking.
Apologize.
Yes, but not for the reasons you expect, because. But there's a interesting mutual respect. But he was so fucked up from the fentanyl lollipop, he thought that the soldier he was talking to and had a great conversation with when he was getting medi-evac'd out was alive. He was talking to a corpse of a American soldier. And in Germany, where they sort out horrible injuries via bullets, they do it in a few places, but Germany they're very proficient. At that time, a lot of guys when you got clipped, sent to German hospitals, a German hospital, military hospital. Now, the guy that shot him, so he felt the burning sensation of the bullet go through, and he saw blood all over his crotch, founting everywhere, and he assumed that his dick was shot off, so he pulled his pants down while he's still burning. Well, there was still a sniper who just shot him. But that's first thing you do is you check, and his dick and balls, his manhood was at least still there, so he was happy. Because trust me, a lot of guys lose their manhood in war, or parts of it. You know, like a tiny little bit of metal might rip through. I knew a guy who had his penis ripped in half by a piece of metal, but they managed to put it back together. And it's functional, at least, so, you know, it just has a very nasty scar. This shit is not glamorous. But yeah, he met the guy that shot him. He was also shot, and before the CIA spooks took him away to a black site, the guy apologized for missing. Homework sucks. He apologized for missing my friend when he shot him, because there's a professional soldier who has fought in not only a fucking war for 5 years against the Soviet Union, but within 2 civil wars in the 90s, and you finally get dropped and, or not dropped, clipped and captured and taken away. And the only reason they didn't fucking kill this guy was because of his connections to the Soviet-Afghan war. Yeah, so when he apologized to my friend for missing. He was aiming at his chest. He didn't take the wind into consideration when doing the shot. He had already killed 3 other officers because they were all aiming at officers. My friend, who was an officer in the Australian 2nd Commando Regiment, which is a special forces regiment in Australian Special Operations Command for the Australian Army. It's essentially Australia's main military special forces regiment. The SAS, which is a British term, but the SASR, Special Air Service Regiment, they are more of a asymmetrical warfare rather than traditional military special forces unit in Australia. So this guy killed 3 other officers because back in that day, in the day in Afghanistan, officers had fucking radio packs on their backs. So you could tell an officer in 2 seconds by the antenna. So snipers were aiming at the guys with antennas. So when my friend got clipped, he was trying to take off the antenna backpack, right? Because on the radio from US guys that had been killed, three US officers, I think they were either US Army Rangers, US Marine Corps, I forget. I would have to go back to where this shit's all written down. 3 coalition US officers had been killed by this guy that day. So over the radio he got, oh fuck, take off your fucking backpacks so they don't know which one's the officer, because the officer's the one you want to kill. If you're a sniper, you know? You kill the officer of a squad, and then you fuck off. And then you kill the next officer. And those backpacks with the antenna popping out make you a really, really great fucking target. So yeah, he was trying to get rid of his fucking thing, but they called it in too late and he got clipped. So the guy was embarrassed about missing his shot and not killing him. He was aiming for his heart, slightly to the left on his chest. Now, you might think that has been weird. It's not. You're a professional soldier. Even a mujahideen. You're a professional. And if you're a professional at anything, you do get embarrassed when you fuck something up. And if your profession is killing somebody with 1 shot and disappearing, and then killing somebody else with 1 shot and disappearing, and you've successfully done this for 20 years, you're going to be pretty fucking embarrassed the day you fuck that up. When you're talking to another professional who is a professional at killing people with an M4A1 carbine, a Heckle & Koch USB Tactical 45, and a bayonet and hand-to-hand combat. And calling in 700-pound. Actually, one guy I knew had a great video where he had to call in a fucking 2,000-pound bomb in proximity of getting ripped apart by it too. Fucking hell. Anyway, it's interesting stuff. So they sort of became friends. And he found out about the guy's story. And then the spooks came in and took him away and disappeared him. And yeah. Like, if I fuck up playing guitar in a way that nobody else is going to notice, I will still apologize, especially if there's other musicians, because for me, it's a professional mistake. So if you're a professional killer, people don't seem to understand that there's honor in it.
You're a beast hunter, aren't you? I knew it. That's precisely how I started out.
Well, sort of Taliban are
Oh,
funny.
beg pardon.
You got to give them credit.
You may call me Alfred, protege of Master Ligurius, hunter of vile bloods. So, what say you? Our prey might differ, but we are hunters, the both of us.
Alright, this guy's
Why
a
not
fanatic.
cooperate and discuss the things we've learned? Oh, very good.
I'll kill
Very
him
good
later,
indeed.
but yeah, he's a religious fanatic.
Take this to celebrate our acquaintance.
But useful.
Beast hunting is a sacred practice. May the good blood guide
Which
your
army
way.
do you think is most dishonorable?
That's a very subjective question. What?
This
There-
is the guy with the wheel, right?
Yep. You see, I would consider this guy dishonorable because he has no internal thought complex. He's a ideologue. He is the same as a he's the same as a death squad SDF squad in Ukraine back in the 1940s. He's the same as a fucking communist death squad in Russia during the fall of the Russian Empire. He thinks he is a good person. And what he's doing
What
is
the fuck did I
righteous.
just stumble into?
There must be oodles for us to share. Go on. Just tell me what piques your interest.
Banderites.
Banderites. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, now he's talking
They
about...
killed my great-grandparents.
Wait, hold on a second. Homework sucks. Yep. Okay, we got shit in common, you and I do. Homework sucks. Different reasons, but you know. Fuck, man.
In Ukraine.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay, well, my grandfather was a Chetnik in World War II. Fucking hell, man. Yeah, so we do have shit in
You
common.
too.
Well, mine's
Ulmthar.
the other spectrum. My grandfather fought during World War II in the Royal Serbian Regiment for the Yugoslav Army when the Nazis blitzed into Yugoslavia, right? However, when that army was annihilated, my grandfather ran into the mountains like a good, you know, the fucking Taliban think they're all that. We did this shit in Serbia in World War II, and we never fell to the Nazis, not truly fall. French resistance think they're all that. We fought a fucking non-stop war throughout the entirety of World War II. So my grandfather was a Chetnik, which is an organization that is now being slandered and disgraced ever since Chetniks have been disgraced since the end of World War II because...
Did they fight the Ustazi?
Yes, of course they did.
Those guys were brutal.
Those... They, other than the Derwinger Brigade, they were the worst of the SS. And they killed a lot, they killed family, they killed a lot of people. Now, if you look up Chetniks, this is the problem. You're going to get a whole bunch of bullshit about them being Nazi collaborators. Because the thing is, the partisans, which are the communist Yugoslavs, they did a little bit of what's it called again? Orwellian. They took credit for shit Chetniks did, and then they slandered the fuck out of the Chetniks after misinformation by Winston Churchill, being the stupid piece of shit he is. He didn't realize that MI6 had been infiltrated by the MKVD, so Communist Russian Intelligence Services, in the 1930s in Cambridge University. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the book and the film, is based on the Cambridge Five, which are 5 guys who were recruited by the MKVD, whom worked for Soviet intelligence as communists for fucking since World War II. And so, to keep tabs on the whole situation in Serbia, they sent a MI6 intelligence officer to deal with Uncle Draza Mihailovic, the leader of the Chetniks. I've got fucking pictures, or my dad does, of my grandfather with Uncle Draza, the head of the Chetniks, during World War II. I've also got pictures of him in holding a massive German machine gun. I wonder how he got that. Anyway, and Churchill had a spook that was a communist, it turns out, who was sent to check on the Yugoslav partisan communists to see who Churchill should fund. And so all the information was coming back via that the
That's so sick.
partisans under Tito were doing everything that the Chetniks were doing. And then the Chetniks were... And this is what's fucked. To this very day, until quite recently, even in Serbia, you know, you're a disgrace if you're from a Chetnik background, because... But yeah, the thing is the misinformation... They weren't Nazi collaborators. There were Chetniks in the Ustazi. The reason there were is they were spooking, giving information from the Croatian SS by pretending to be Croatian and infiltrating it. However, Tito turned that around into them being collaborators. You see? Victor's writing the fucking story. Typical social... So yeah, my family were put to death by fucking communist death squads. Because even though my grandfather, being a veteran of the Royal Serbian Regiment, a veteran of a fucking insurgency against the Nazis and the Croatian SS for fucking years during World War II, until he was caught. Also, he was caught, by the way, and he was in a fucking concentration camp too. He got out when Americans bombed the fuck out of this concentration camp. and managed to live, and he had to live off rats and cockroaches for something like 2 years. I'm not kidding. It's what I mean about I tried to tell Jake Hanrahan to stop promoting far-left death squads in Ukraine, because that's exactly what they are, but at the same time I don't support far-right death squads just because I'm against far-leftist ones. So your family were killed by a fucking far-right death squad. Nazi death squad. Ukrainian...
Grimacing face.
Ultranationalists. Yeah,
I saw that post.
Yeah. And I have people saying the most... Thank you. Yeah. I'm trying to explain to him what he already knows, which is you're promoting a fucking kill squad. Yeah. So I showed him a Ukrainian soldier with a Derwinger Brigade patch as a joke. Not as a joke, but because
I'm ethnically Jewish.
I assume so. That's the thing. You know how many Jews there are in Serbia? Fucking none. You know, and that wasn't the Serbs. Before the 40s, there actually was a Serbian Jewish population. Because the only...
I don't sleep, I just dream.
Me too, brother. But... yeah, Thank you for understanding, Homework Sucks, that I'm not fucking a far right.
I saw that Derwinger patch.
Yeah, that was from that was from last year on a Ukrainian soldier. That was not on a private military contractor quote or a neo-Nazi there to kill Russians because Mein Kampf.
That guy was totally Temple of Blood.
Biden is funding literal neo-Nazis to go and kill for Lebensground ethnic Russians. Serbs and Russians being absolutely hated by Nazis because you won't believe this too, Homework Sucks. Now, Chetniks were royalists, and I'm not saying that the Chetniks are fucking, saints. Chetniks were, a terrorist organization. However, if you're fighting against the Stasi, Nazis, and Italian fascists, and communist death squads, and the fucked up thing, they killed Varaz Mihailovich in a mock trial, typical Soviet style, but things are complex. Things are complex. I'm not some far-right dickhead. The reason they hate Serbs so much is because of Gavrila Princip, who is a direct relative of my grandfather.
Who fights Ustash is okay by my book.
Thank you. They had a policy because the Chetniks were all fighting in the mountains, so Croatian SS worked out, and the Croatian flag is the fucking Croatian SS emblem as a fuck you to Serbia. It's disgusting. Now,
Politics are fake and gay anyways.
They are, that's why I don't engage in them. I just get fucking angry at Jake Hanrahan because he's a dickhead. He's like, Jake Hanrahan is like this guy, except this guy has more integrity.
Really? The guy who shot Franz Ferdinand.
Yes, that's... Why do you think Hitler went so hardcore on Serbs and Russians? The Russian-Serb connection, the joke about being the same people is essentially true. But anyway, but why so hardcore against Serbians? Because Gavrilo Princip, who decided to use communists to, who of course being typical communists, embarrass themselves and fuck up. I can't help my bias against, no, communists are amazing at killing. Where I shouldn't give them shit for that. The Black Hands, my grandfather was a royalist because he was part of the Principality of Serbia. So essentially, they would be considered, I guess, far... it's too hard to put into context, but yeah, Gavrilo Princip, he was my he was in a Black Hand society. If you look at the flag for the Chetniks and you look at the flag for the secret society, Serbian society that came out of Serbian
What do you think of
intelligence.
Dugin? Fourth political theory.
I had no fucking idea about this guy. Jesus, thank you. I'm a big fan of Alexander I. Solzhenitsyn. The Gulag Archipelago is a masterpiece of journalism and literature, and also of existentialism, and of Eastern European existentialism in particular, which I'm very interested in as a existentialist myself, and as a Slav. So I have a very similar outlook, I guess, but I had never heard of Alexander Dugin. Okay, he is National Bolshevism, which he left in the Fourth Political Theory, 2009. I'm going to homework. You know Alexander I. Solzhenitsyn, right? If not, I highly recommend putting 80-something hours aside and listening to the 1980s audiobook of the Gulag Archipelago unabridged version. Because it's amazing. It's amazing. I also recommend, have you heard of, I'm looking in, thank you. I love it when people give me in.
Solzhenitsyn's legacy is pretty mixed these days actually, because people blame him for the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yep. The fall of the Soviet Union was economic, along with... Look, I got a lot of empathy for
Oh yeah, I read
Russian.
him a while back. My dad was a fan too. Thoughts on Dane Cook?
I have no idea who he is. Sorry. Okay. None. I'm sorry. I'm not very well versed in
He's an
American.
incredibly philosopher.
Is he?
Definitely check him out.
I will anyway. Right now. Homework, can you save me time and tell me if... because I am that out of knowing what the fuck is going on in America. So he's a comedian. Anyway, homework, I've neglected you horribly.
As you know, the Healing Church
over the
is
past
the
year
fountainhead
because
of
of
blood healing. Well, I'm
Dane
a
Cook
simple
is a really
hunter,
bad
quite
comedian.
unfamiliar with the ins and outs of the institution.
Thank you.
But I have heard that the holy medium of blood healing is venerated in the main cathedral. And
But
that
people say
councillors of the
comedians
old
are modern
church
philosophers.
reside in the high stratum of the cathedral
True.
ward. If you seek blood healing, and the church is willing, you should pay them
He's just a really bad one.
Byrgenwerth is an old place of learning, and the Tomb
But
of the Gods,
I
carved
am-
out below Yharnam, should be familiar to every hunter. Well, once a group of young Byrgenwerth scholars discovered a holy medium deep within the tomb. This led to the founding
Agony's
of the
Point
Healing Church
is...
and the
I know who
establishment
Agony's
of
Point
blood
is, by the way,
healing.
homework.
In this sense, everything sacred
I did
in
threaten
Yharnam
to
can
kill
be
him,
traced
which
back
was very
to
stupid
Byrgenwerth.
of me, but
Today, the college
and got me
lies
into
deep
some
within
trouble.
a tangled wood, abandoned and decrepit.
However, let me
And
send you
furthermore,
something if you
the
promise
Healing
me
Church has
homework.
declared Byrgenwerth forbidden
blocked-
ground.
I've
It's
blocked
unclear
Agony's
how
Point
many of
Press
its
because
scholars remain
Agony's
alive,
Point because Agony's Point
but only they know the password
I
that allows
can't
passage through the gate.
say why, but I block certain people. No, I can't say on here why. It's
Do you think he's Sutter?
no, he's not Sutter. Agony's. I know who Agony's Point. Agony is. He's taken the name of a old publishing company that was endorsed by Sutter, but no relation to that previous
He
account.
deleted his account after Jake called him out loud.
Ha! That's because he's a stupid fucking child. I blocked him because certain people, after a certain pedophile network, 764 and the associated Nexions and that piece of shit, that almost got me banned off everything over, and then has gotten me systematically hacked. So I have to have a different fucking account with authenticators for every single account for everything I do, which makes everything take forever. Because they want 764.
Wait, so then who is he?
I can't tell you on here, but I'll say this. I did try and bait Hanrahan ages ago by showing the connection of Command Cultist to Sutter. However, knowing damn well that Agony's Point is not the same Agony's Point that's associated with Command Cultist before, because fuck Jake Hanrahan, he's stolen my work, taking credit for it with regards to a certain pedophile that got exposed because of one of my fucking contacts, victims not realizing that it's illegal to do certain things when you're on parole. Anyway, to not give anything away, fuck Jake Hanrahan because he is a absolutely disgusting amoral piece of shit who knows exactly what he's doing and treats me as a neo-Nazi extremist whilst actively, knowingly promoting death squads, hassling old people, calling women cunts on Twitter.
So there's two different Agony's points.
Yes, Agony's Point was a publishing company by Command Cultist, a splinter Temple of Blood group, before that was endorsed by Martinet Press and Sutter. However, that Agony's Point is gone.
You think Jake is Me6?
Yes, I agree with he's not MI6 in a sense, he's not an intelligence officer. He is an asset for them, most definitely. Because of his ability to not have to go and get the shit beaten out of you and tortured and horribly injured or diseased, and access to certain places and countries, even though a lot of the time he outsources it to people who do get fucked up for nothing, and he's somebody who has been manufactured as a quote independent journalist, and he's such a dick that he'll talk about me but never mention my name, because he knows, even though no one on Twitter especially knows who the fuck I am, he is that insecure. It's pathetic. I've had conversations with Jake Hanrahan when he unblocked me, where I was going to lay everything out.
Talking to Agony's Point, I was convinced he was cultist/Blenzig, but after talking to him for long,
let me send you something, homework. I just want you to promise me you won't fucking share this with anybody. You promise? I'm going to send you something on Twitter to give you an idea. If you leak this shit, I'll know it's you. So, homework. Can I send you a picture on Twitter through messages? As I said, if this gets leaked, I'll know it's you.
I promise I won't.
Okay. Look at who follows me.
Please do. Thanks, dude.
No worries, but just look at who follows me for a minute, and look at how many have certain names in certain scripts. I'm sorry, man, I shouldn't make veiled threats. Let me just find it, because fuck, man, this is from a while back. I can't help it. Whatever I do ends up turning into talking about my journalistic shit. But, you know, I enjoy it. Like, I do the work in the background, people, and so do you. And it's nice to know that. Sorry, I'm on a little surface.
Mutuals.
Yeah.
Gallery of low-lifts.
If there's like edgelord Niner accounts from America that I don't follow, that's because I block the ones that are pedophiles, that I know are pedophiles. But I can't tell you which ones they are on here, because I don't want a lot upload child pornography on Twitter. People don't know it's child pornography because they don't know the people in the videos. A lot of it involves humiliation of young, quote, men, where it's forced humiliation of underage teenage boys. I block them instantly. I know who these kids are because pedophiles use them to get to underage teenage girls. And I've got the IDs of so many people in 764 associated, quote, Nexions, including ones in Melbourne. You may have seen me post some shit before I disappeared for a while about how certain dates, after I threatened to, quote, I've got a dagger, do you want me to stab you, insert homophobic word here, at Agony's Point. I wasn't in a good state. I shouldn't have said that. Not very professional of me. But I posted dates, not as a threat to people, but because certain people were about to turn certain ages where they're going to get serious prison time, and I have no empathy or compassion for people. If you're old enough to go and die in war, you're old enough to go to prison.
Diving deep into 764 too.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Hundreds of fucking IDs.
Luckily a bunch of them are getting arrested.
Oh yeah. I'm trying. I'm trying to find the fucking. I'm not gonna give the IDs or anything like that. I'm just gonna give you a picture so you have an idea of who Agony's Point is. Who I actually know who they are. They are a pet. Oh fuck! I didn't say that. Then they. I don't want to make accusations. Why can't I find this fucking thing? Oh yeah. I'm an idiot. I should just go to my messages because Agony's an idiot, and he kept trying to bait me. Not bait me. He wanted. Oh fuck! He's gone. The picture's somewhere. Okay, to put it this way, homework. Agony kept sending me pictures of a Nexion that he was investigating, and they had pictures of things like, you know, the 1999 nail bomber David Copland in London, right? You know, the Copland nail bombings. He killed a pregnant woman at a gay bar, and they try to blame David Mayat, of course, because everyone tries to blame Mayat for everything. Well, David Copland. The nail bomber, 1999 nail bombings. Me and some Niners that were in a collective in the UK who knew who Agony's Point is decided to, with me...
Yeah, the one Myatt was implicated to be part of.
Yes. He owned a book by David Myatt. The White Wolves organization has no connection to David Myatt at all. The White Wolves are just fucking... It's like if anybody does any fucking terrorist attack, anybody can send letters to the media saying we're an organization. The guy was a repressed homosexual, like a lot of modern neo-Nazis, and I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that because you'd be shocked at how many are repressed homosexuals. Because it's very difficult for them if you're far right, right? But you're gay. Copland is, if you listen to his interrogation, he is the biggest repressed homosexual I have ever heard, to the point where it's actually funny. It's so overt. And so to fuck, Agony's point was showing pictures of nail bomb your local, you know, faggot and things like that in pictures with Copland and sigils from fucking, you know, Temple of TOBV trash. And so as to fuck with him, I went on about how Copland's the biggest faggot and things like that. It was hilarious. And then Agony's point, shut the fuck up. He's trying to push his Nexion. So I'll send you a message. I'll send you the picture when I can find it at some point later. But I'll send you a message to say what I want to say, but I can't say it here. So I've sent you a message.
Bronze Age pervert and Nick Fuentes are both very gay face with tears of joy. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all.
As you know, well, but I have heard, and if you... But, and this in
Majority of
today,
Niners
and further, it's unclear, but only that...
also
may the good...
repressed homosexuals. Male Niners these days. A lot also are... That's why I've supported a lot of stuff from gay and trans Niners, because the actual ONA, if you go back to the 70s and 80s, or even to 90s. Yep. That's why, now, he's one of the people that have been used by older people. But yeah, he's a fucking... Hanrahan obviously took the bait, because when he showed up, I tried to bait Hanrahan. Fuck. Because I was convinced he was stealing my information, or somebody that works for Hanrahan. Because every time a fucking edgelord Niner follows me, all of a sudden Hanrahan starts following them. People that he had no idea of their existence until the fucking spook nightmare that is my hellscape, that is my Twitter, appeared. You're a relief, because you're one of the few people on Twitter who doesn't want to kill me, or who isn't spying on me or trying to get information on me for various different organizations. I've got Antifa that follow me on Twitter in Australia who are trying to you know, make a hit piece on me being a Nazi, even though I've admitted involvement with Combat 18 when I was a fucking teenager. I have a shitload of Taliban follow me, but they're cool. I am followed by the Edgelord Niners. I keep blocking a lot because a lot of pedophiles. The ones I don't block, even if they're dicks, it's because they're not, from what I know. But yeah, I got a lot of spooks that follow me because it's like a little, it's like a honeypot, honey trap situation. That's why I got Hope Not Hate people following me, not Nick Lowe's or Hope Not Hate themselves, but people that are working for Hope Not Hate follow me.
I follow everybody just to keep tabs.
Yeah. Because I can't handle Twitter, to be honest, that much. It just fucking... Because it gives me a warped perception of my
Which accounts
fan
are
base.
spooks? People accuse me of being one all the time.
People accuse me of being one too, but, you know, for understandable reasons. I make a lot of jokes and I did work as a private intelligence contractor. So technically, yes, I was a spook. Doesn't mean I was doing anything interesting. I worked in... and I also worked for the Australian Securities and Investment Commission as... on, corrupt banking and loans departments. And... yeah... I just am somebody that did a lot of contracting and freelancing work.
You worked for private intelligence.
I worked for the Australian
What did you
Securities
do?
and Investment Commission
crazy.
first. ASIC, essentially they are a financial... They you know, if you want to register a business in Australia, you got to go through ASIC. ASIC were focusing on corrupt loans departments. And I was poor. And I looked poor. I wore triple Adidas, fucking... what are they... yeah, you know, jackets and pants. And chain smoked and had a 1992 Ford Falcon V6. And they needed somebody that was Euro trash to go into corrupt loans departments to get corrupt loans, essentially, back in the day, and go through the whole process. Because they were giving exploitive loans to poor people, and I can't go into more than that. That's how I got started. And essentially, I had to learn a lot of... I did this in multiple cities in Australia, and this operation went from 2008 to 2012, and one of the organizations ended up having to pay $12.8 million back in corrupt loans. So it was actually kind of nice. Neo-Nazis who give me shit. I fought the banks, literally. Should venerate me. These banks were in no way associated with... These were owned by amoral, opportunistic, disgusting Australian pieces of shit. Anyway, that got me working for that got me a job in journalism too after that, because, well, actually during that,
That's sick.
ghostwriting, I managed, because I'm somebody that, unlike Hanrahan, who to his credit has legitimate success in a way that is tangible, my success is happening to be on morphine while a friend is going to Afghanistan and I'm saying goodbye, and his uncle happening to be the editor of the business section of a certain Australian newspaper, who happens to also be an alcoholic and massive pillhead, and so we partook in the communion of me getting lots of cough medicine filled with essentially lean out of my car to stop withdrawals, and drinking a few bottles of it with him, and that got me a job to do his job for him while he got drunk. Not exactly something I can attach to a resume. So I network. And that was while I was still studying. So I did not have, I was I would have been 19. So yeah, my friend was getting sent off for a tour of duty, and his girlfriend, who hated me, was a postgrad creative writer, and me being horribly dyslexic and can't spell, he gives me a fucking job off the books instantly because I know how to talk with.
How old are you now?
I'm 33. This is a while back. So I was in a different state and city, and whoops, because of my work in, I guess what you'd now call FINIC, financial intelligence, at that time, which was also out of I've had a very strange life, and no matter how I put things, I will never adequately be able to not be an insight role, not be the son of David Myatt and Richard Malt being my uncle, not be what's it called, a spook for the Australian Secret Intelligence Service, not be a neo-Nazi terrorist, not be ONA, not be, you know what I mean, like, but it works. I'm essentially a massive fuck up, but I'm good at shit that I do, so people use me. I'm good at networking.
You there? Hunter!
Okay,
Did
I
you
will
see
go
the warning?
say one thing about the lore.
Turn back at once. Old Yarnum, burned and abandoned by men, is now home only to beasts. They are of no harm.
So this entire section
The
of
hunter will face the hunt.
Me too.
this entire section of the city has been burnt down because they deliberately did human experiments on people here, which with a cure to a... See, it doesn't like my torch. These were people. The church has manufactured this and they fucked up essentially and burnt this entire area down. It reminds me of what the CIA did in France, where they sprayed an entire village in, I think it was southern France, with LSD, and then claimed that the bread of that city got ergot, more, you know, yeah. They claimed that they then claimed that the entire city was poisoned with ergot. Ergot is essentially natural LSD. Ergot is a bread fungus. Anyway, people were having trees growing out of their fucking stomachs, screaming, because the CIA just went, fuck it, let's just see what happens if we... It's all been declassified. If we just carpet spray fucking, you know, Agent Orange style, a French city, a French town with LSD. Let's see if it fucking works. So, this being a reflection of real life, this also being a prophetic thing of real life. Don't say, did you say you're a fuck up too? Homework sucks. Yeah.
The boss of this area made me give up on this game for a month.
Really? Oh, yeah. See, I couldn't give up. I used this game to come off...
I know that wasn't the only time they did that.
Yeah. But don't call yourself a fuck up. Homework sucks. I shouldn't call myself one, because I've been... I shouldn't compare myself. No, you shouldn't call yourself that, and I shouldn't either. Neither of us might be the likes of Jake Camerahan. However, I don't want to be that. I'd rather be... I don't want to be a cynical dickhead that deliberately pretends to be stupider than he is because he's amoral and doesn't give a shit. Because where's he gonna be in 10 years?
Thanks, dude, you're right.
See, if Hanrahan was correct, I'm a neo-Nazi terrorist posing as a journalist. Yet, I never go on about Gaza other than to say, or Zog, or any of that shit, other than to say I don't believe in it. And to quote my friend in Israel, how the fuck can we run the world when we can't even run our own fucking country? My point is, if he's a success and we're both fuck-ups, right? I should, according to him, not communicate with you. I should... Because I should have instantly started going on about your in pure blood. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, if Hanrahan was a success down the line, people looking back, even if things are written in a way, then he has been wrong about everything. So if being a success is being horribly wrong.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, because I'm a racist piece of shit neo-Nazi terrorist friend who's a propagandist for David Mayotte himself. Yes, Mayotte published me, but I gave them permission to do whatever the fuck they wanted with my interview. I didn't even know it was published into a book. Yes, I associate with neo-Nazis. How the fuck else am I going to get information about things if you can't communicate with people cordially that you disagree with? How the fuck can he get information at all from any contacts other than people that just want to up their careers with him?
I'm sorry I've got to split, but let's talk again soon, dude.
Definitely, because I've always felt bad, because you've always been incredibly interesting, and I was not in a good state last year, and let me see what you're saying. I'll get back to you on that after, but because you know about a lot of the American scene on shit very well, and yeah, I was really fucking sick last year. Like, the damage, I was having a lot of autoimmune problems from extended periods I spent getting malaria and shingles in Asia. But you post and do legitimately good fucking research, and you know your shit, and sometimes I might have I need to keep in touch with you more, man, properly. If you have any...
Don't feel bad, it's easy to get overwhelmed with messages. I always take a while to respond myself. I'm glad you're feeling better now, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I am. But we need, just don't call yourself a fuck up, because you're a better journalist than Jake Hanrahan has ever been. And you have absolutely no fucking backing, in the sense that you need. And you are legitimately knowledgeable and give me fucking good info, man. So take care. Don't call yourself a fuck up. I'll stop doing that too. It's stupid. My theory, Sutter, pictured wait, what?
Thanks, dude, you too.
You too, man.
You do this shit for free, loudly crying face.
Yes. Well, technically I've gotten paid by some people on Patreon and stuff, which I do appreciate a lot. YouTube only. Well, you take it easy too, man. Okay, time to actually play the game. Anybody else who's watching, I've done a lot of investigative journalistic work, and so the majority of my audience know me from that. So no matter what I do, things will eventually get into the nature of my work, essentially. but I am experimenting with this medium as it's a way to communicate with people, get information, share information, but also do something that is generally fun and relaxing. Because I love talking about this stuff. I'm seeing this now as becoming more of a... It's like a bar where you go to talk to people while chain smoking about... to network on what the fuck's happening. With people within the industry, so I get
cigarette.
yeah, this is an allegory. Is if any of you have been to Dubai's airport and gone to the smoking section, that is a great place to go if you want to know what the fuck is going on and network with people. Especially in the Islamic world.
Are badass.
Yes. And the Islamic world, a lot, even though it's an intersection between Europe and...
Everybody there looks like a Chinese movie gangster. Everyone I network with when I've been overseas are usually guys in their 30s up. They all always chain smoking, and as that's universal with people in intelligence, people in the more hardcore elements of journalism, especially. And yeah, it's, and businessmen, everyone, Chinese guys, they are very heavy smokers. It's just, this is the smoking lounge at the crossroads between the rest of the world. That's what this this stream is. I get a lot of Niners the other day on here, which was really fun. Oh shit, forgot to pick up one thing there. Where are we? You never know who shows up. Veterans, anime girls. Oh fuck. Maybe it's somewhere else. It's been a while since I played. No, fuck off. How can we donate to you?
Oh, I've got a PayPal. Technically on YouTube they have monetized me, but for some reason they're not linking my bank account. So PayPal, I guess, I have a link, I think.
or Patreon. Because I'm any little bit of financial support is incredibly helpful. It's okay. I'm sorry, Henrik. I'm gonna have to probably die, but try and murder you dishonorably. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're too good. Alright, he's dead. That's not the most honorable way. I'm not leaving. I'm having. You have to do this, otherwise I lose his shit. But it works. Whatever fucking works, you gotta do. I should start invading people, actually. Other players, kill them. But yeah, I'm wanting to focus on music, especially, but the journalistic elements of things, I can't stop. I'm addicted to it. Because, fuck man, you go to a bar these days, and there is nobody to fucking network and talk to in places like Australia. And I'm a fucking addict for information. Oh, and don't worry, it's not going to a drink and drug fund. It's goes towards my oh fuck, I'm dead. I guess that serves me right for dishonorably killing Henrik that way. It's going to offset production costs for things, my website, and also for recording.
I will definitely get you some dollar. Appreciate your work.
Thank you, Susan. And that's another reason why I'm doing this. It's not just to, you know, fuck around and waste time. Being able to actually speak to my audience, and this will help get more recognition regarding my other work. It's fantastic. And stay off dope. That. We have too many interesting people, and don't want to lose any more to morphine.
Into music, have you heard of nameless Therian Romine, the musician?
Yeah, he and I don't get along. However, I'm big enough to go. Your nameless Therian and I have had a bad start. Back when everybody was fucking contacting me, because everyone was trying to work out who my contacts were and trying to give me misinformation. Before Nameless Theron jumped ship from the ONA. He tried to turn me against my contacts. However, he got my contacts wrong because he thought it was just one when it was a network. Multiple at the same time. Still is. I understand more into the context as to why he jumped ship. I can't go into that because of it's his personal life and I don't want to be a dick. But he's at least creative. He's just really pretentious and incredibly disrespectful to me. And I can deal with that, because what the fuck do I expect from certain... But yeah, he's not very well liked in the UK. People see him as somebody whom...
To hear that.
People see him as a coward for jumping ship, which is a understandable thing. People associate me with the ONA and always will. I haven't denounced the ONA. I won't. I haven't big... The ONA... I'm not a fan of these fucking American, especially fake Nexions filled with pedophiles. Not a fan of people fucking with... But as a system and the art and music that has come out of it, it's brilliant. The old stuff is absolutely brilliant, and yeah, at least Nameless therein. And if he has ever heard me talking shit about him, I'm sorry. But you would call we just clash. I don't know, we clash. I usually can deal with contacts, but he's one of those people whom expects you to know who he is.
Contact with him, but enjoy the music. I didn't know he jumped ship down.
Well, jumping ship's fine, but it's the way he did it. He denounced it, the ONA, because of fear when Ethan Mauser being prosecuted to the FBI. Sutter entrapped him. But also from internal sectarianism between different collectives in the UK. And personal reasons I won't go into with him. But I didn't know I was communicating with Nameless therein until he got angry at me. But the thing is though, I was getting contacted by so many fucking people. And I am not... I don't know... Everybody's fucking... This is back when I was... After I'd interviewed Malt. Not Malt, sorry, David Mayan. And yeah, about a day or two before he denounced the ONA and jumped ship disappeared, he did a sectarian thing trying to play me, which I don't appreciate, but that's the ONA, they fuck with you.
Easy guy to get along with, so he must be a dick.
It's just his extreme... He's one of those people who's like, I'm famous, so treat me like I am of more value than everybody else. And I have a bad habit of not realizing who I'm talking to. And then not going, oh, I'm so honored it's you. Because I don't know who they are sometimes. Because I knew Nameless Theron, but he was communicating with me under a different name that he thought I should have known because of how... Anyway, I didn't acknowledge him as being... And he assumed that I was, of course, a, you know, insight roll. So... He's really the only person I really clashed with in a way that wasn't based on any personal, like, thing of being, you know, shit I can't go into with people, but... Yeah. I do respect that he was creative, and that he actually created things. But... I need to kind of move on from my personal, you know, bullshit, because I would like to talk to him now that I can fully understand his circumstances. But people saw him as being exploitive. Because he would constantly...
pretty pretentious.
Oh, that's why we clashed. He is the most pretentious dickhead I've ever fucking talked to in my life. Jesus Christ. And I've been contacted by almost everyone, but at least they were respectful. He was trying to do some labyrinthos bullshit with me. Because he was trying to... He thought I was an idiot because I can't spell. And that, I was a insight roll. I told him I wasn't an insight roll, he didn't believe me. So I had to show how stupid I was, which is something I do quite a bit, where you play yourself down. But he's a prick. However, the reason he's not liked is because of jumping, not from jumping ship, but because he publicly denounced the Order of Nine Angles, then jumped ship, and that was seen as... That's like being a Muslim and apostatizing in an O&A context, with regards to collectives in the UK. But there were other circumstances. Also, he would always re-upload things and just put O&A in the title to get ad revenue, but the thing is, you don't really get... You have to use fucking, sensational things to get seen. Some people think he and Richard Malt or slash Crystal Beast are the same person, which they're not. I'm not sure where people got that one from. And he does a lot of chants which have value. Reading in Naos, and I don't know. I'm not. Shit. Anyway. Nameless Theron, I'm sorry if you see this. I'm a dick, I know. I'm not meaning to talk shit about you. I'm not talking about your personal life. But, man, I did not know that it was improper for me to follow your WordPress without messaging you first when you were following my website. And I publicly fucking apologized on Twitter to you in the most humiliatingly pathetic way to appease you. And that's still not enough. Get back to making music and don't be ashamed of whom you are.
This is the guy with the wheel, right? I haven't had any contact with him but enjoy the music. I didn't know he jumped ship, damn. You seem like a pretty easy guy to get along with, so he must be a dick. Seems pretty pretentious. Damn, now I really wanna know why he denounced.
He denounced because in the end, everything goes down to petty bullshit with occult organizations, which is why I want nothing to do with being involved with anything anymore, in the sense of, I want to know what's going on, a network, but I'll do my own thing, you know? And it's most likely because he was scared of getting charged with terrorism, because in UK and Australia, and he's from the UK, in Parliament, both our parliaments are putting the ONA as a terrorist organisation through, so, you know, that's not good for people like me, alleged ONA, and people like him, confirmed ONA. But he denounced it when Ethan Mauser got 45 years in prison, even though that had nothing to do with the UK, Sutter's work and FBI being too lazy to actually fight terrorism, so they create terrorists and then fight them after they create them with informants. Oh fuck. Yeah, Slavic style. Yeah. But shit, I gotta put that stuff aside. If he ever wanted to do something, I would put that shit aside. He does know his shit. So I will say that he is very knowledgeable on alchemy, very knowledgeable with regards to Hermeticism, ancient Greek, all of that stuff. He knows what he's talking about, but I don't know.
That's why I keep to myself for the most part. The occult community is extremely petty and full of drama.
Yep. That's the thing with the ONA is if you deal with them, they assume, they drag you into it, they're bullshit. So it's hard not to be dragged in, even if you don't have any actual involvement. And I'm sympathetic to the system as some, because it's, especially now, it's a fantastic book of magic. I absolutely love Naos. And if there's one, and yeah, it's also very useful in that a lot of neo-Nazis have transcended it via the Order of Nine Angles as a way to sort of, because Thelema's to, you know, Aleister Crowley stuff Anyway, I've been going for a long time. I will just run and hopefully not die and grab. There they are. Anyway, I appreciate everybody watching these occult analysis turned talking about everything streams. All of the input over the past few days I've started doing this has been fantastic, and I will continue. I'm doing a lot of other work at the moment too. Specifically regarding music and also a piece of investigative journalism. But yeah, I'll be continuing these on a regular basis. And I hope people will continue enjoying and putting good input. So take care, thank you for watching, and have a good evening.